Oh, you ain't giving a red
Oh,
for
wow.
that.
In fact, actually, when you see it like that, I mean, it's never a yellow card in this life. You've jumped, you've got your hands, you've got to use your hands to jump.
The game is gone, and so is Rangers' spot in the Champions League due to that scandalous second yellow card sending off. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. Everyone seems to be in agreement, including none other than Kris Boyd, who was watching the game live on Sky Sports News, Gillette Soccer, Tuesday nights, I guess. And yeah, he looks flabbergasted by what he's seen originally. He wasn't so sure, but after seeing the replay, anyone could tell. A blind man, Stevie Wonder, could tell that this was never indeed a second yellow card. And the more you look at it, the worse it actually looks. Because in real time, you just see Jefte going to try and win a header. And I guess you've got flailing elbows. Anything could happen. And maybe you just assume that there was a bit of contact in there. However, when you see the replay, he doesn't hit him with his elbow, he doesn't hit him with his hand, he does not strike Popov in the face or in any sort of area that could cause any pain. There's slight body-to-body contact because at the end of the day, it's a physical sport and they're both going for the same ball. But that is the only contact between Jefte and the Kiev player. The fact that they're both jumping for the ball and they make contact body to body. There was no elbow, there was no foot, there was no hand, there was nothing flailing in a direction that made contact or could have possibly hurt the Dynamo Kiev player. Yet somehow, amazingly, the referee decided that was enough to give a second yellow. And it's disgraceful. We can talk about VAR, we can talk about maybe bringing out a rule where second yellows need to get reviewed. I think that is the best thing to do. But first of all, let's see Kris Boyd's full reaction to it. Because at first he was almost accepting it. But when he seen the replay, he knew straight away that this was a horrible decision. And to be fair, we've seen a lot of people come out and say that. I believe Clement came out and said it was the worst decision that he's seen in his footballing career. And that's a pretty strong statement. I mean, it's a horrible decision. I can think of a few other bad ones, but yeah, Clement thinks it's the worst one he's ever seen. And even like other Scottish Twitter accounts like Pie and Bovril saying that it was never a sending off. Clyde Super Scoreboard are saying that as well. Scottish Coefficients, I believe, also put out a tweet saying that it wasn't a sending off as well. So yeah, I mean, pretty much everyone in agreement here that this was not a second yellow card and that Jefte should have been on the pitch. But let's listen to what Kris Boyd had to say in full when he first seen it.
It's Rangers and it's Jefte that's been sent off. I actually thought he'd have been the one that was taken off at half-time because he was yellow carded in the first half for standing on one of the Dynamo Kiev players' foot. He had another couple of challenges after that as well when you're thinking to yourself, you better watch what you're doing. And then when you seen Cherny coming out the tunnel at half-time, you thought, yeah, it's maybe going to be him. But he's picked up a second booking here again. He's going to challenge for the ball. He is high with his arm. I mean, he does jump, he does catch him. It's not really a flailing arm, but I mean, he does catch him. It's not...
Oh, you ain't giving a red
Oh,
for
wow.
that.
In fact, actually, when you see it like that, I mean, it's never a yellow card in this life. You've jumped, you've got your hands, you've got to use your hands to jump. I mean, honestly, if that is a yellow card now, I don't know where the game's going. But as I said, it's not going to be rescinded, that's for sure. Jefte's off, and it's a massive blow with Rangers because they're going to have to play the rest of this game with 10 men. 0-0.
So there you go, Kris Boyd not exactly impressed, and we can't really blame him. It wasn't a great game of football to watch, and the last thing that Boyd needed, especially being a Rangers fan, was that decision there that effectively took Rangers out of the game and handed the Champions League playoff tie to Dynamo Kiev. I just keep looking at the replay, and I can't fathom why people were saying that this is a second yellow. Persistent fouling. Even if that's the case, okay, I'm seeing a lot of Celtic fans making the case that it was persistent fouling, therefore it's a second yellow for committing multiple fouls. Let's just say that is the case, okay? This isn't a foul. What Jefte does here is not a foul. There's no argument. That's not a foul. It's not a second yellow and it's not a foul. He challenges a 50-50 ball and he wins it. It's as simple as that. Now, had he maybe elbowed the player, had he went in too aggressive and took him out, then maybe, just maybe, you could make a case with your whole persistent fouling thing. But this cannot be a second yellow card for persistent fouling because it's not a foul. It's as simple as that. And I know people are saying that he was lucky earlier in the game. Apparently, he had a leg stamp or whatnot. Should have had a red for that. It doesn't really matter. What happened previously up to this moment is irrelevant. All we need to know is, at this point in time, Jefte is on a yellow card, and that is all we need to know when he goes in to try and challenge for this ball. He's on a yellow card. If he commits a foul that could be deemed a second yellow card, then he is in trouble. But he didn't. He won the ball. He didn't physically attack or swipe or aggressively or hit or endanger his opponent in any way. Their bodies touched a little bit, but it's football. It's a contact fucking sport. There's no way that is a second yellow card. And I mean, Kris Boyd, he looks angry. He looks hurt. It must be tough being Kris Boyd. You can just see his eyes when he's watching these games. Like the soul has been, taken from him. I feel bad for Kris Boyd. I mean, you look at the rivalry that Kris Boyd and Chris Sutton has. I mean, one guy watches his team win all the trophies, and the other guy, wouldn't even know what a trophy is. So, is what it is. Rangers won't be winning the Champions League trophy thanks to this Italian referee. And I know that the match ain't going to be replayed. I know that Rangers aren't going to be compensated or anything like that. But the referee needs to come out and he needs to apologise. He needs to admit that this was not a foul. Just come out and admit you got it wrong. I think that's the first step, okay? I think we need to hold referees and officials accountable. We hear a lot of times how they get too much criticism and shit like that. Well, I think they deserve the criticism. If you do something wrong at your job, you get in trouble for it. If a player has a shit game, the fans will boo him. He'll get criticised. He'll get dropped. He'll get told off by the manager or whatnot. Referees, officials, they need the same. Officials should come out and they should hold their hands up and go, got that one wrong. Made a mistake. Obviously can't fix it now, but I'm sorry. That's what needs to happen. An apology here needs to come out, and that is it. It's not going to get Rangers into the Champions League, but the least the referee can do is admit that he made a mistake and that he was at fault for this and that there should not have been a second yellow card that obviously led to the sending off of Jefte. So, yeah, that's it. Will Rangers get an apology? Will the referee come out and make that apology? No, of course he won't. Of course he won't, because it's football. This will be forgotten about. UEFA get their little Ukrainian team in the Champions League, or at least they've got the option of now getting them in the Champions League. I'm sure they'll be happy with that. And now Rangers need to settle for the Europa League, which actually, if you take the money aspect aside, I think it might actually work out better for Rangers. I think they can be a lot more competitive in the Europa League, and I think they've got a much better chance of having a longer run in that competition. But it's not the point. Just because you might do better in the Europa League doesn't mean that you want to be in there. And Rangers, who knows? Dynamo Kiev could have won tonight without this decision. There wasn't much in the game. I mean, it could have went either way. Rangers could have kept 11 men on the pitch and lost tonight, but we'll never know because the referee took that out of their hands, and the referee, denied us the option of seeing that. So, is what it is. I mean, Rangers weren't really good enough. Dynamo Kiev weren't really good enough. I don't think Kiev, if they do make the Champions League, I can't see them getting into the knockout rounds. Same with Rangers. I think both Rangers and Kiev will be down the bottom of the table. I can see them, being within the last few spots. So, yeah, who knows? Maybe it's a blessing in disguise for Rangers, but neither team impressed me tonight. Neither team looked like a Champions League quality side. So, is what it is. But I tell you what, this referee certainly isn't a Champions League quality referee, because the decision that he made tonight was scandalous. So, is what it is, guys. Anyway, that is it. Europa League now, conference night, Thursdays, can't wait. St Mirren, Kilmarnock. I'm probably going to get more robberies in that game there. How many Scottish teams will we get into the next round? Who knows? It's looking at the moment like none. I've got to be honest, I do think St Mirren and Kilmarnock will probably get knocked out. But, well, we'll keep believing. And we'll see what happens. But Rangers now drop into Europa League, guaranteed Europa League group stage, or league phase, whatever they want to call the new format now, whether they want to call it like a big massive group or just some form of league. But either way, excited to see how the new competition works, and it's probably going to mean that we have one Scottish team in each of the three competitions, which maybe that's a better thing, because it gives us, a representative in each competition, so that might actually be better. Who knows? Anyway, guys, that's it. I'll catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.